Okay, hello. So this is just a continuation of the previous video that I have already uploaded about addition of integers. So kinat ko siya kasi medyo mahabang explanation to, and baka malito na kayo sa sobrang haba or dami ng explanation kung pagsasamahin ko siya lahat. So this will be the explanation on how we are going to find the sum of integers, and we are going to do this by sign tiles. So let us have example number 1, which I already told you to observe in the previous video. So if I have 3 plus 2, this is equal to what? Okay, so for us to answer this, what we're going to do is, ang gagawin natin, we're going to refer or use sign tiles. Alright, so I'm going to use red sign tiles here for my negative. And I am going to use, so lalagyan ko na ng legend dito sa ilalim. Okay, and I am going to use blue sign tiles for my positive. Okay, so I'm lalagay na rin ako dito sa ilalim ng legend. So, legend. Alright, so the red sign tile is for negative. Okay, and we are going to use blue sign tile for positive. Okay, then let's answer number 1. So I have here 3 plus 2. The first and foremost, what you're going to do is to identify the sign of the integer that you have here. Okay, so I have here 3 plus 2. Ano ba ang sign ng 3 natin dito? In my previous video, inintroduce ko doon na sabi ko, writing 3 and writing 3. So, kapag sinulat natin yung 3 at saka positive 3 in this way, they are just the same. Now, ibig sabihin yung 3 ko dito ay positive, but we don't need to write the positive sign anymore. Then next, identify the sign of 2. The sign of 2 here is also positive. Kapag negative naman siya, makikita nyo naman talaga na negative siya. Okay? Parang may dash, okay? So, let us now add the following using sign tiles. Now, I have here positive 3. Ibig sabihin, meron daw akong tatlong positive. And my positive is color blue. So, I'm going to use 3 blue sign tiles here for my positive. So, positive 3 plus positive 2. Our positive is colored blue. So, plus ano daw? Plus another positive 2. So, the answer to this is equal to what? Okay? Ang gagawin natin is, kita mo naman, yung lahat ng sign natin dito ay positive, kulay blue. Ito naman ay positive din, kulay blue. So, ang final answer mo ay positive din syempre. Kasi lahat blue eh. Okay? And then, bilangin mo na lang kung ilan yung tiles na yan. Bilangin natin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, therefore, that is how we add integers for example number 1. Now, what about if we don't add integers using sign tiles? Okay. Example, I have 10 plus 14 is equal to what? So, to answer this, first, ang gagawin natin, identify natin kung ano yung sign nito. Okay? So, this is positive. Identify naman natin kung ano yung sign nito. Ang sign nito ay positive. So, as you can see, positive, 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 they are like signs. So, kapag like signs, ang gagawin mo lang ay kopyahin mo lang yung sign. So, parang you just copy the sign. Tapos, parang normal na nag-add ka lang ng whole number. 10 plus 14, that is equal to 24. So, that is how we add integers with like signs. Okay? Now, let us proceed with example number 2. So, sa situation number 2, I have there negative 3 plus negative 2 is equal to what? So, to find the answer of that, what we are going to do is to use again sign tiles. But before that, I have here a little bit explanation about this parenthesis here. Okay, so you can see, I put here a parenthesis, or meron talaga kayong makikitang parenthesis. Okay, bakit kaya? Now, ang parenthesis na to ay ginamit para lang igrupo yung negative 2. Or ikulong yung negative 2 sa madaling sabi. Kasi kung hindi natin siya ikukulong at hahayaan lang natin siyang malaya, okay, katulad nito. Buburahin ko to. Okay? Yan. You may be confused kasi some students will think of this as negative 3 plus minus 2, which is not correct. And if we're going to try to input this in scientific calculator, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, ang ibibigay sa inyo na ang mag-flash sa screen ng calculator ay syntax error because there's no such thing as two operations bago yung next number. Okay? So, kumbaga, ganito lang, ginamit lang dyan basta yung parenthesis to, for us not to be confused. But, take note, the use of this parenthesis is not the same as the symbol for absolute value. Okay? So, let us now answer. First, sabi natin, identify the sign of this one. Okay? Itong number na to. Our 3 here is negative. And our 2 here is negative. So, let us use sign tiles. Now, for negative, I'm going to use red. So, since this is negative 3, therefore, I'll be placing 3 red sign tiles here and to be added by ano daw? To be added by negative 2. So, since this is negative, therefore, we're going to use a red sign tiles again na dalawa. So, 1, 2. How are we going to find the answer to this? Okay, to find the answer to that, parang katulad lang to nung kanina na number 1 na example. The only difference is that eto parehas negative but still, ang pagsagot parehas lang. Okay, now you will see here na eto ay lahat negative. Okay? Negative ang sign niya. Eto naman, since this is red sign tile, that is also negative. Now, in adding integers, what we're going to do, dahil lahat naman yan red, which denotes negative, therefore, our final answer will be negative. Kasi lahat naman negative. Or lahat naman red eh. And then, you just count the tiles. Okay? Bilangin mo lang lahat. So, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Therefore, your final answer is negative 5. Okay, now how about if hindi tayo magsasign tiles? Kasi, you know, there are situations na hindi mabababang integers ang binibigay sa inyo. What if binigyan kayo ng, kunwari, negative 18 plus negative 2. How are we going to find the answer to that? In that case, kung gagamit kasi tayo ng sign tiles, and this is negative 18, medyo matatagalan pa tayo. Aabot kayo ng maghapon sa paglalagay ng sign tiles na ganito. So, let us apply the rule. Okay? So, the rule is ganito. First, identify the sign of the first integer. Ano ba ang sign ng 18 dito? Right, it is negative. Ano ba ang sign ng 2 dito? It is negative. Kita nyo? Now, kapag parehas negative, kita nyo? Parehas negative. So, that means they are like signs. Kapag ka-like or magkaparehas ng side negative, negative, the answer will always be negative. Okay? Parang katulad kanina, positive, positive, the answer is positive. Ngayon naman, negative, negative, the answer is negative. And then, you just add 18 and 2. 18 plus 2, that is equal to 20. So, your final answer is negative 20. Okay? So, that will be for number 2 situation. Okay, let us have now example or the situation number 3. So, for situation number 3, I have negative 3 plus 2. So, what is the answer to this? Now, again, of course, since we're on sign tiles, then I'm going to explain this first in sign tiles, and then after that will be the rule. Okay? So, first, sabi natin, identify the sign of your integers here. Ano ba ang sign ng ating 3 dito? Ang sign ng 3 dito is negative. Ang sign ng 2 dito is what? Positive. Remember, ha? I'm not going to put that positive sign anymore there kasi you're already high school and alam niyo na dapat yan. It is already understood na. Matik na yon. Okay? So, since this is sign tiles, therefore, let me use negative 3 red sign tiles. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, to be added by, okay, plus 2. So, as you can see, 2 here is positive. So, I'm not going to use red because for my positive, ang sign tile ko, ang color ay blue. So, I'm going to use blue sign tiles here. And since this is positive 2, therefore, I'll be using 2 blue sign tiles. And let us now find the answer. Okay? So, to find the answer, again, observe. Anong na-observe ninyo? Ang na-observe natin ay yung ating sign tiles dito ay magkaiba ng kulay. This one is red. Not positive. Red is for negative and blue is for positive. So, magkaiba ng sign. Hindi pwedeng, ma'am, positive na ang sagot ko. Ma'am, negative na ang sagot ko. No. Okay? Kinakailangan talaga ma-identify mo muna yung sign ng integers mo. And then, after that, ano na ang sunod na gagawin? Okay? Ang sunod natin gagawin ay sundin natin yung sign ng pinakamarami. Sa dalawang sign tiles na to, sino ba ang mas marami? Yung red, di ba? Kasi 3 sila. Panalo sila. So, ibig sabihin, our final answer will be negative. Nakadepende ang sign sa kung sino ang mas marami. Okay? Mas marami si red. So, therefore, negative. Okay? Kung mas marami si blue, di positive ang sagot mo. That is how we add integers. Kapag magkaiba na yung color. Bakit nga nagkaiba ulit? Kasi magkaiba na sila ng sign. So, paano nahanapin ang sagot? What we're going to do is to remove, cancel out, eliminate, disregard, tanggalin, ibawas, tanggalin natin, eliminate those tiles that are of opposite. Kumbaga, ang mangyayari, ito, maka-cancel na yan. Ika-cancel out natin siya, so tatanggalin natin yon ha. Kasi, according to science, sabi daw, when two signs are opposite, they attract with each other. The law of magnet. Okay? Yan, na-relate na natin sa signs. What else? Meron pa ba tayong ika-cancel? Okay, tanggalin daw natin yon. See? This portion, this part, okay? So, tanggalin natin yan. Pag natanggal na natin, syempre, wala na tayong matatanggal. Kung ano na lang yung matitira, therefore, that'll be the answer. Ilang tile lang nakikita ninyong natira? 1. Di yun na yung sagot natin. Anong kulay niya? Red. So, that is why negative yon. You see? So, that is how we add integers using sign tiles. Now, how about if we are going to use the rule? Okay, so using the rule, if I have here negative 7 plus 15, this is equal to what? Okay, so using the rule, kasi kung gagamit tayo ng sign tiles dito, matatagalan tayo, okay? So, the rule is, first, identify the sign of the integers. Ano ba ang sign ng 7 natin dito? Right, it is negative. Ano ba ang sign ng 15 dito? Wala naman kayong nakikita ang ganun, diba? So, hindi siya negative. Ano siya? Therefore, that is positive. So, nakikita nyo, negative to, positive to. Tulad lang din nung kanina, negative yung isa, positive yung isa. Unlike signs, how do we find the answer if we have unlike signs? Magkaiba, kumbaga, magkaiba, negative yung isa, positive yung isa. Kapag ka magkaiba, ang gagawin mo ay ganito lang kasimple. Okay? Kunin mo yung absolute, kumbaga, ganito na lang. Ang gagawin mo ay you're going to apply subtraction. Okay? So, magsasubtract ka. You have to subtract. Subtract the lowest number to the highest number. Okay? Disregard the sign. So, parang ganun lang kasi yung absolute value. Kaya sabi ko sa inyo, kailangan dapat naintindihan niyo yung absolute value kasi dito sa addition of integers, na i-apply din yung absolute value. Para makuha natin yung sagot nito, kinakailangan kunin natin yung absolute value ng negative 7 at saka absolute value ng 15. Kumbaga ganito lang, sa madaling sabi, para makuha yung sagot nito, i-disregard mo muna yung sign. Okay? Pero kanina, pina-identify natin. Okay? Yung sign. Kailangan kasi maintindihan natin kung like ba siya or unlike ba siya. And then, after that, mag-subtract ka na. So, apply mo na yung subtract. Tuwing kailan tayo mag-subtract? At saka, paano ba yun? Ma'am, naguluhan po ako. Bakit po tayo mag-subtract? Ang nakikita po naming operation ay plus. Ganito kasi yun, class. Ito na talaga yung rule. Yan na yung rule. Kapag magkaiba, subtract. Pag hindi mo sinubtract, di mali ka na. Siyempre, kailangan mong sumunod sa rule. Okay? So, negative 7 plus 15, iawas mo lang yung 7. Kumbaga, ang tinuturo ko nito sa mga bata ko noon is ibawas mo lang yung maliit sa malaki. Disregard the sign and the order. Basta, ibawas mo lang yung 7 sa 15. The answer is 8. Okay? The answer is 8. Now, hindi pa yan tapos, ha? You have to make sure of the sign. Ano magiging sign ng 8 dyan? Hindi pwedeng basta ka lang nagbawas. Do not always forget to consider the sign of your final answer. Tignan natin. Okay? Tignan natin tong dalawang number na to. Kunin natin yung absolute value nilang dalawa. Or, i-disregard natin yung sign nila. If I have here 7 and 15, Sino sa kanilang dalawa ang mas mataas? Mas mataas si 15, di ba? Okay? Ano ang sign ni 15? Positive. So, dahil ang sign ni 15 ay positive at mas mataas siya, yung sign niya ang masusunod sa final answer. So, our 8 here is positive. Okay? So, that is already the final answer. Now, you may wonder, hindi na ako naglagay ng ganong sign ha. We don't need to write that. Also, makikita nyo, magkaiba sila, di ba? Dito ang sagot natin ay negative 1. Dito ay positive 8. Kasi nga, class, iba-iba. Depende yon sa kung sino ang mas mataas. Dito, nagkataon na mas mataas. Kung disregard muna natin yung sign, kumbaga, wag lang munang pakialaman yung sign, mas mataas si 3. Okay? Tingnan lang muna natin kung sino yung mas mataas. Mas mataas si 3, therefore, dahil ang sign niya ay negative, kaya naging negative yung final answer. Dito, dahil mas mataas si 15 at positive siya, therefore, ang final answer ay positive. Mangyayari lamang ito kapag unlike, magkaiba ng sign. Okay? Okay, so let us have the last situation. So, yung number 4, if I have 3 plus negative 2, this is equal to what? Okay, so again, the first thing that you're going to do is to identify the sign of the integers. Ano ba ang sign ng 3 natin dito? The sign of 3 here is, remember, positive. Okay? Then, the sign of 2 here is negative. Remember, yung parenthesis ay ginapit lang para i-group si negative 2 at para hindi tayo malito. Okay? So, using sign tiles, I have here 3 which is positive. So, I'll be using 3 blue sign tiles. There you go. To be added by negative 2. So, dalawang red sign tiles ang gagamitin ko. To find the answer to this, what are we going to do? Okay, pansinin ninyo. Ang sign ko dito, I used blue. This one is for my positive. Ang sign naman nito ay negative. Parang katulad lang to ng number 3 example. Wala halos na pinagkaiba doon. Yung rule ay ganun lang din. Yung sign tiles ay ganun lang din. Now, as you can see, magkaiba. Ano ang gagawin natin? Hanapin kung sino yung mas mataas. Okay? Or sino yung mas madami. Mas madami yung blue, so therefore positive ang final answer natin. Okay? So, positive na. Ilagay na natin agad positive or wag na nga tayo maglagay. Then, ang sunod natin gawin ay i-cancel out natin yung opposite na signs. Okay? And then, cancel out din natin to. And then, ilang tile lang nakikita nyong natira? Ang natira na lang ay 1. So, therefore, our answer is 1. Positive 1. Okay? Bakit positive? Kasi nga, positive yun. Okay? So, ganun lang yung number 4. Now, what about if hindi tayo gagamit ng sign tile? Ang gagamitin natin ay rule. Like, say, for example, what is the answer to 12 plus negative 18? How are we going to find the answer to this? Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is to find or determine the sign of 12. Ano ba ang sign ng 12 dito? Right, that is positive. Ano ba ang sign ng 18 dito? Right, that is negative. Nakikita nyo, positive yung isa, negative yung isa. So, that is unlike. Ano ang sabi kapag unlike? We have to subtract. Okay? If you don't follow the rule, you will not get the correct answer. Okay? So, subtract. Ibawas lang natin yung numbers natin. Disregard the sign. Okay? Kumbaga, wag mo na daw pakialaman muna yung sign sa pagbabawas. So, ibawas natin si 12 kay 18. Ano ba ang sagot natin? 6. Pagkatapos maisulat, hep, do not forget to consider the sign of your final answer. Hindi pwedeng pagkabawas mo, yun na agad yung sagot mo. Take a look at your integer here. Okay? Disregard the sign again. Sino ba ang mas mataas? Si 12 or si 18? Okay? Kumbaga kung mag-sign tiles tayo dito, mas madami yung negative natin. Okay? Kasi negative 18 to, oh. So, dahil mas madami siya, ibig sabihin, panalo siya at yung sign niya ang masusunod para sa final answer mo. So, therefore, this is negative 6. That is your final answer. Okay?